Hey y'all, Rick Sky here. Welcome back to another live show. If you're watching this live, please feel free to super chat. Just a great way to support the channel. Not required, but highly appreciated. So yeah, I had a lot of interesting stuff go on. One of the most recent things has been the PlayStation 5, the PS5. Did a follow-up review of it. Again, I'm not a big gamer, but you can check out my live streams. It's Govna 706, and I do all my PlayStation 5 live streams here on Higher Skies Adventure Channel. But it's a pretty cool console. Again, casual gamer. I do it for a few minutes every few days or so, just to to relax and improve my hand and eye coordination. So it's a good activity. Got some coin reviews, right? If you haven't seen the coin review videos in a while, I've got a bunch of coins coming. So there's gonna be a lot of brand new coin review videos here on Our Skies Adventure Channel, and those are always I know that several of y'all asked, it's like, hey man, we need some more animal noises. So yeah, I'll make some animal noises and review coins, and we'll just have a good old time. So other things on the horizon, got another studio live show coming up soon. Obviously this is just a casual walk and try to burn some fat show. Nothing too fancy, just walking and talking and interacting with the audience here. So yeah, we got big things, man. Big. The interesting news today. Did you hear that Facebook was hacked? Not only was Facebook hacked, but so was Instagram. Instagram was hacked, and WhatsApp was hacked. So, if you think that you've got a big social media platform and you think you're immune, they're not. They clearly got hacked, and I don't know. Y'all have to comment below and tell me, but how many hours, or how many minutes, I should say, was Facebook down? That's pretty crazy that Facebook was hacked and was offline for several minutes. So yeah, just interesting news. And again, I don't watch the news. I'm tired of the news. It just puts me in a bad mood, so I don't watch the news. But that popped up on my feed, and I was like, wow, who would have thought about that? Actually, it didn't pop up on my feed. It popped up within a text message, because the person that texted it to me knows that I don't watch the news. Ace report: Facebook employees were locked out of their buildings. They're locked out of their buildings. What happened, man? Ace report. Sounds like you've got some good things to share here. Tell us all about it, man. Because again, I don't watch the news. I just got a message from someone that sent me a text message. I said, dude, Facebook got hacked, Instagram got hacked, WhatsApp got hacked. And Zuckerberg was probably sitting around somewhere in his hooded sweatshirt. Polsky. So do we buy Facebook stock now since it tanked? What's funny? That was, and again, for entertainment purposes only, this should not be considered a recommendation to buy or sell security. Ace report says 60 Minutes whistleblower had some information about them in a damning interview. Whoa. Joel Samuel, puke face, multiple puke faces. Welcome aboard. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, back when Facebook IPO'd, the initial public offering, I was kind of bearish on it, and I didn't really, but it's actually performed quite well. But if you look at those percentage increase, at that percentage increase so far, in comparison to the types of increase that you might experience with a penny stock, it's seemingly underwhelming. I mean, yeah, a few 100% increase. Oh, that's nice. But you can, if you're not risk averse, and you got big cojones, then you can potentially do a lot better in the penny stocks. I mean, you can lose a lot more too. So for that reason, I never dabbled with the Facebook stock. One that I regret though was Apple. Before Apple released the iPod, Polsky said, "I bet IRX is shorting Facebook." You know what's funny? I've never shorted stock. I've never shorted stocks, and the reason is that when you short, the loss potential is somewhat infinite. You know, if you're investing the traditional way, then, well, you know, what you put in, say, Joel Samuel says, what is going on Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp? I don't know, man. You know, I don't even like those tools. WhatsApp is okay. You know, if there's people, I converse with a lot of people internationally, so having WhatsApp is handy for that. But as far as just using it, I mean, you know, y'all comment below, tell me what is WhatsApp used for? I mean, tell me aside from international communications, what is it actually used for? I'm interested to see what y'all say here. But let's see, we got, shorting is something that I've never done, just because the the potential for loss. I mean, you know, if you Joel Samuel for business, WhatsApp's okay for business. It's also a great tool. You know, these people they're trying to be shady, and they're trying to, you know, people that are trying to, like, here's the things I've seen WhatsApp for. Legitimate use case, people that are trying to communicate internationally affordably. Shady use case, people that are going to these conventions, you know, trade shows and all of that are trying to hook up with other people's wives and all that. You know, the adulterers, people that are cheating on their spouse. I think that's a great use case for WhatsApp. So, you know, you've probably heard of people that are using WhatsApp for that. But other than that, I mean, it's just, you know, if I'm going to use something for business, it's great for phone calls. But if I want a more interactive business conversation, I'm going to do Skype. Polsky, when your wife checks your phone, she doesn't check WhatsApp. Yeah, you're right. No, and I don't do that. I am not a disloyal spouse at all. I got married once, and that's the only time I ever get married. So, yep. Never gonna get married again. So, Joel Samuel, community, will your family outside, let's see. Family outside the country, that's very true. Communicating with your family outside the country, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, man, talking about, WhatsApp, it can be a shady tool. So, you know, it's good though. I mean, when you need that cheap communications mechanism. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like, I do not like long distance charges on a phone. Yeah, it also does videos and documents, you're right. It's quite a robust tool. Where are you going to, bro? Bro, I am going down the street. I'm just walking down the street. Wristwatch check. Apple Watch. Not a wristwatch, but I'm wearing it. Ace report. I heard Verizon had issues too. Hopefully someone isn't messing with our communications. You know what? I mean, anything's possible. I mean, I don't, you know. Apple Watch. The Pontiff would be proud. No, the Pontiff would not be proud of the Apple Watch. He would be very offended. But that's the only time I wear it, when I work out, because it does track. It does a great job, you know, estimating your calories burned. Keeps up with your steps. It really is. I mean, it's called an Apple Watch. I don't call it a watch. I just call it for me, it's a fitness device. That's all it is. I mean, it's not a, it's not a watch. I mean, a proper watch has to be automatic. Well, it doesn't have to be automatic. It's got to be mechanical. It's got to have, mechanical movement. That can be manually wound. That's acceptable. It can be automatic. We need a Rolex with a calorie complication. There you go. Speaking of that, it's funny. Tag Heuer made a smartwatch. I don't think that's ever an area where Rolex is going to dabble, or Omega. What do you think? I mean, Tag Heuer did it. Breitling, Breitling's got some quartz pieces, but I don't think Breitling has a smartwatch, do they? I don't think they do. They released that fitness line, which I don't care for. I mean, why do I want to pay that much for a watch to? Well, I guess it's what they call athleisure. It's like you're athletic, but you just want to look laid back and not dressy. But if I'm going to do that, I'm not even going to wear a watch. I mean, I'm going to wear, a fitness tracker if I'm doing an athleisure. But if I'm going out, Patek Philippe smartwatch, that would be funny. Patek Philippe smartwatch. Hey, anything's possible, man. But yeah, I don't think your Holy Trinity, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, and Vacheron Constantin, I don't think we're ever going to see any of those go into the smartwatch territory. Neither would we see Breguet or JJ LeCoultre. I could possibly see Omega dabbling with it. They just kind of have that sinister, and I love Omega, but they kind of have that, they're not as polished as a brand as Rolex, as far as, really being careful about what they release, making sure that what they release is going, I mean, they do a pretty good job, but I'd say Omega does a better job than Breitling. And I used to think the other way around, but I think Rolex is always going to be, timeless and nothing too daring. They don't want to step outside of their comfort zone, not just for themselves, but for their huge customer base. I mean, they want something that somebody buys. Case in point, the Submariner. You see a Submariner, the current reference, with a 72-hour power reserve. And then you see the original Submariner. Well, it's still a Submariner. Although technologically it's evolved throughout the years. It's got a better power reserve. It's got a ceramic bezel. It's got solid end links on the bracelet. I mean, it's, but you see it, you still know it's a Submariner. And I see this crap every day up here. Guys, practice good cable management, please. Cat 5 patch cables. And then you got an RJ45 connector just sitting out there on the street. Wonder what would happen if I plugged into that. Who knows? Not gonna try it. Is that a commercial building? Oh, yes, it is. And that's the scary part. I mean, if that was my IT department, I'd be like, you're fired, go away. But it's not, because I do not have an IT department. This is a solo operation. Arch Guys Adventure Channel. So, yeah, we take, excuse me, there's cars coming here. I don't want to get run over. Get off the street. Here we go. So, so that's pretty crazy, man. Facebook and Instagram hacked and WhatsApp hacked. I bet there's a lot of shady secrets exposed. If people wanted to, people that wanted to blackmail people that, hacked into WhatsApp, I bet they've got some dirt on a bunch of people, man. I mean, that's shady. But imagine, any of these tools that you use, and here's the way I look at it: anything that's posted, whether it's a text comment, where it's a a text-based comment or a video or a photo. People communicate with their side chicks for a couple of hours. There you go. Yeah, they couldn't. Yeah, they were in a state of distress. But see, now what they can do, all that could potentially be exposed. So, for that reason, always assume that, whatever is posted on social media, and I wouldn't just limit it to social media. Any form of communications, I would assume is going to live on forever. So, with that being the case, I would, if it's an email, if it's a text message, even if it's a handwritten note, assume that's going to live on forever. Imagine. Now, of course, I'm not, and you may or may not be, but imagine if you were in college right now. When I was in college, we got ripped up, and we didn't care. We didn't have people running around with Twitter and Facebook and MySpace. That was before that. Now, Facebook and MySpace started coming out on the tail end of my college career, and it wasn't as utilized then because you still had that was back when we had the Motorola Razr, a flip phone. Now, what are you gonna do? Pull out a flip phone, hit the same number multiple times just to spell a word? No. The cellular networks weren't fast enough. Kyle C., welcome aboard, sir. Polsky, Facebook stock down 5% today, 15% for the month. Yeah, it's a turd, man. But yeah, now people got to worry about anything they say or do potentially instantaneously. It can be broadcast to the world and shared to potentially millions of viewers within seconds. And that's, it begs a question, people that are, especially in college and all that are filming others without their consent. There's people that, maybe and go to some party and I just get crazy or something, Polsky says, what do you think about apps like Snapchat that auto-delete your post? You know what I think about it? Do you think those snaps probably live on forever in a database somewhere? And even if they don't, they've probably been screen captured by people. Did you know now with your iPhone integrated into the iPhone is a screen recording option? So in theory, all you have to do is have an iPhone. I'm sure they've got the same for Android, but it's built into iOS. You just enable screen recording, and then you go to Snapchat or whatever, and you can potentially record everything. So even if something, a video, a photo, a text-based message, anything that existed, even if they said it was deleted, even just one person could have screen recorded it. One person could have reshared it off the platform. Obviously, probably without that person's consent. So, and they may not even acknowledge they did it. They may get something like that and hold on to it for 20 years. And then when that person that they captured the Snapchat of runs for a political position, it comes out of nowhere. And it's, whatever they were doing on Snapchat. And it could destroy someone's career, especially in the political space. So, yeah, that's what happens, man. It's a shady world, man. Mean, nasty, and vicious. So, always remember that. It's anything can happen. So, for that reason, anything you say or do, expect it to be there forever. And that's always been 100% in my head. Anything I say or do during any of my shows, live shows, previously recorded videos, Facebook post, Instagram post, Twitter post, anything that's there, I should assume it'll live on forever. So, it is what it is. And it's there's some traffic coming here. Let's see. I'm gonna run across the street. Yep. So I mean, it's a potentially dangerous thing. Polsky, I'm sure people screen recorded you when you said to buy. Yeah. For entertainment purposes only. And that's the thing nowadays, man. You got to be so politically correct. You gotta, anything you say or do, not anything. I don't want to overgeneralize, but most anything that one says or does, they've got to surround it with all of this cautionary verbiage. Joel says, is this WhatsApp and Instagram thing going to end soon? I think it's definitely going to function as a wake-up call for people that felt that they trusted those technologies. And, for people that use them like I've done, I mean, there's nothing out there that I would care about. So, even if the historical record of all the calls, including voice and or video, people screen record without consent. Let's see. People screen record without context anyway, so warnings don't matter. Yeah, but if they're doing that, they can be sued for, if they don't have your permission to. So if somebody say they capture something that was said in a video, and then they repost it, but they repost it with, with it being edited, and they cut out all the other words to give it a completely different meaning. That person, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but the person that performed that illegal act could be subject to legal action. So, but I mean, they can do it, but if they do, it can be a nasty mess. Cal C said, I had Facebook for 12 years, for 12 minutes over 10 years ago. It was such an annoyance. Let's see. It was such an annoyance, and it was almost instantly deleted. Have no other social media either. Hey, you got YouTube, and that's what counts, man. Honestly, here's the way I look at it. Facebook, I guess I kind of care for it. I mean, I used it, back in the day. And I still use it now to keep in touch. It's not, here's the thing, all my real friends, I've got their phone numbers and their addresses and all that. So, I mean, we all stay in touch. So it's not like we depend upon Facebook to keep in touch. But people that that, you're still friends with, but you're not like seeing them every week or every month or every year, it's nice to have Facebook for that. But I've never been a fan. I mean, honestly, man, it was, like I said, it came out in the tail end of college, and, I didn't really use it then. I mean, it was, because, we were face-to-face interactors. We'd go see someone. We'd, call somebody up on the cell phone. Back in those days, it's like, well, if you're, you go out to a party, you meet some chick, you're not going to text her on Facebook. You're going to give her a call. Be like, hey, let's go out. Let's go get a steak. I mean, that's how that worked. Polsky, dating apps are exploding in popularity. Yeah, because people are afraid to go out. It's crazy. I remember when I used, I've only been married once, and that's the only time I ever get married. But before I was married, I had a strategy for dating apps, and it actually worked. Basically, what I did, it wasn't a character. It was like a real profile, but I just put cool stuff on there. Joel says, what other app you say is better than WhatsApp? We'll get to that in a second. So this was back when, Match.com and eHarmony. And, I just got, I wasn't married at the time. I was just like, I'm just tired of going out to the bars and spending all this money and, basically just meeting bar trash. You don't want that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try the, so I did the Match. I did the Match.com. This was many years ago, man. This was like early 2000s. So I got on Match, and my strategy was just, it was kind of a new thing. So I just go through, I'd sort by rating, and I and just do the wink. Basically the wink was the way you didn't have to say anything, right? No, I still don't use Match. Dude, I've been married since like 2008. Yeah, so that's what I do. I just do the wink, and then it would show you like somebody wink back or whatever, and then the ones that wink back, then I'd strike up the conversation. So it was a successful venture. So I started out not really knowing much about the platform, and then I went out on these. Man, it was crazy. I went out on some of these dates that were just, as soon as you walked in, it's like, oh man, this profile pic of this chick was like 20 years, or not 20 years, 5-6 years ago. It's like, but you still gotta be nice, buy the dinner and say, hey, had fun, and then see you later. We'll get to that in a minute. Folsky. Yeah, so that was kind of that. And then I did meet, I met one girl. She was like smoking hot, but she just had no like substance. See, I like a girl that has some business sense, right? So this girl was a total, I'm sure she'll find somebody that she wants, but she was a total airhead. And then I actually dated this one girl that I met on Match, and we dated for like 2 years. But what happened, she was cool, and she's married now, and I'm glad she is. But everything was fine. It was one of those deals. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just not feeling the marriage vibe. And I was thinking about that. And then some girl that I met in Maui. This girl I met in Maui, in Hawaii, like many years prior. She contacts me out of the blue. What's up? And I'm like, what's up? So I flew her in across the country to come see me for the weekend, and that was interesting. She's married now too. So then I got rid of all that. So you don't like the trophy? No, I got a trophy wife. So basically what happened, see, the Match.com and all that was just kind of, it was just the early days of internet dating, and it was kind of a way to meet with that subscription fee without having to incur the expensive bar tabs before the date. You could meet online, you incur the dinner fee, and then if things go well, go to the bar. If things go really well, then you got multiple meals. You're having to cook, you're having to do all this stuff. But yeah, I met my wife in a bar. So I went to see this girl that I knew in college because I liked her friend. I liked her friend in college, and I thought she was going to be there too. So I went up there. Her friend wasn't there. It was just her. And I wasn't really that, she was a nice person. That's about all I'll say. So her friend wasn't there. So we ended up going out to a nice dinner anyway. And then we went to this bar. And that's where, where I met my wife. And she was actually from a few states away. So it was a long distance thing for a while. But then we got married about a couple years after that, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, and that was 2008, man. So it's 2021 now. So so I haven't been in that Match.com scene or eHarmony or any of that. So I'm sure everything's evolved now, completely different than than things were back in the early 2000s, I'm sure. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works. Posky, does your wife have her own business like you were an employee? Nope, she doesn't work. I do all of the financial planning. I do all the hustling. She does a lot of cooking, but I do. Yeah, I'm the sole provider. So that's my role. So that's why I hustle, man. Gotta hustle. So yeah, and again, when it comes to family or friends and business, I never mix the two. So, even if she was interested in running a, social media backed business, she'd need to do her own. Let's see, what is this? Ace report says it's hard to remain married nowadays. culture influences women to be independent. Yeah. But see, when you're over 40, it's a little bit different now. You know, if I was of the younger demographic, I mean, it would be pure hell, man. I don't know. I mean, well, I'd say it'd be pure hell, but it's probably all you would know. That would just be, you know, in your mind, it would be the norm, because it is the norm. Because you didn't experience the, you know, the way that society worked in the past. Posty says, when are you taking your wife on a world cruise? Well, you know, honestly, right now, man, just because of the complications of traveling, especially internationally, right now a cruise is way down the line. It's not that I'm afraid of the virus. You know, she's fully vaccinated. That was a choice she made. I'm not. That's a choice I made. I don't want it. But the international cruise right now, I'd love to do that. I'd like to get on that. What is it? The Queen Mary. Go across that ocean, Atlantic Ocean. You know, get on that on the Queen Mary. But I don't know. It's probably, that's going to be a ways off. Right now, I'm actually, you know, every cent I can make, I'm putting into my businesses, and that's, to me right now, it's more important. I mean, I know there is a balance, and you know, we do things that we haven't been doing recently is the international travel, just because of the complexities of it, and not just to mention that, but I don't want to spend and go somewhere and the majority of the stuff be closed. I mean, that's just like, it's a huge financial expense. And then, you know, you're kind of having a watered down experience in that international destination. So, I don't know. I'm ready for it to rebound. I think other countries require showing vaccine cards. Yeah, I don't have one of those. Like I said, personal choice. I chose not to get it just because not to get political, but I'll just use the example of, okay, I'm walking down the street and I walk in a dark alley, right? And like somebody's there and they're like, you know, hey man, you know, come drink this. Hey man, come drink this. And, you know, I'm not going to go drink that because I don't know what's in it. It could be poison, you know. The same applies to this. It's something that, you know, I'm not nervous about. So why do I want to put something in my body that, according to, you know, certain, I don't trust the news, I don't trust anything, but there's no real guarantee that it works. So you're putting something potentially not thoroughly tested in your body for something that is allegedly has like, I think, a 99% survival rate or something. So I don't know. It's you know, it's that's a choice anybody's got to make. And like I said, my wife got it. I don't. You know, I didn't. It was a choice. So yeah, for that reason, I mean, until things loosen up, you know, international travel, especially for me, is going to be a major pain point. So Polsky says, sounds like we're going to need a booster. Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like, you know, when's that going to end? And it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's just, who knows? But anyway, not to get off on a tangent there. But yeah, I'm ready to, you know, to travel internationally again. It's super fun. I just, you know, I like getting out and eating good. Well, I mean, the thing is, when you're traveling internationally, you're eating food that you would never even have the idea to prepare at home, just because it's from a culture that's so different than yours. And that's the, you know, the cultural differences, you know, that's one of the most fascinating elements of travel. You know, the cultural differences, especially with the food, with the, you know, with the hobbies. I mean, just silly stuff like Bermuda. I mean, you go there, it's like, you know, what do people do? I mean, they go out and they dive for lobsters. They ride mopeds all over the island. They talk funny. They have great food, man. One of my favorite foods is Bermudian fish chowder. Only in Bermuda. And, you know, stuff like that, just such a different culture. The people speak differently. They've got really funny phrases. Polsky says Putin in Russia doesn't have COVID, so that'll be a good destination. Yeah. And that, you know, I've never been to a communist country, and I don't know, man. I mean, I know some people have been, especially to Moscow, and they say, but you know, Moscow is kind of a, you know, that's like the big city in the communist country. You know, the big city is always going to be different than the small towns, and that, you know, it's a different thing. But I wouldn't mind checking out Moscow or something in the future. I really like Canada. Canada was fun. Canada's, you know, it's a lot like the United States, just with funnier accents. And they've got poutine, fries and gravy. I love that. You know, so there's good stuff everywhere, man. It's just, you know, right now the challenges of international travel, and you know, number one, here's the thing. If I have to go somewhere, I want to just get on an airplane. I want to have my whiskey and Coke, if I want to drink whiskey and Coke, or, you know, maybe I just want to take some shots of Jägermeister. You know, whatever I want to do. And I don't want to have that mask on. I just want to take my drink, have my drinks, and relax and fly. Well, relax when I get off the plane, because I hate to fly. But anyway, yeah, that's it's things will change. I mean, things have to normalize. I mean, we can't go on like this forever. It's getting to be a huge hindrance. Polsky said someone will start selling fake vaccine cards so you can buy one. Yeah, see, that's something I would never comment about, because this is a live stream. What we were talking about earlier. Everything that one says on social media, whether photo or just text, can live on forever. That's a funny comment, though. Yeah, so, yeah, man, just hear the birds chirping. Birds are everywhere. Polsky, LL, you delete your lives so it's gone. Well, I don't, yeah, but again, if somebody, you know, if they had a screen recording going right now of this live stream, it could, even if I deleted it, it could be, you know, the full stream or parts of it could be in existence forever. You know, they could re-upload, they could, you know, a lot of things without my consent, of course. If I found it, I would dispute. And that's one thing. I encourage everyone to share my videos from my YouTube channel, you know, using that share link, so they remain hosted by my YouTube channel. You know, that helps my channel. But, you know, never, and see, that's the thing. Not on a weekly basis, but on a monthly basis, I'll go out and find people that have re-uploaded my content, and I report them. I mean, I don't take any sort of action. I just say, hey, that's my content. You know, I did not provide you with consent to use it. Please take it down, and they comply. I mean, I don't want anything else out of it. I just, you know, it's my content. It's my creative work. So, you know, it's only me that can host it. People can share it, but share, you know, from my links. So, yeah, it is what it is. Here we are at this Category 5 cluster again. Look at that. That is pitiful. Just leave your Cat 5 out. Yeah, and just leave your RJ45 plug hanging out so somebody can jack in. Come on. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. So, good news is, what's not crazy is that I've walked over, let's see, 3 miles now, man. You can just cut it or rip it. I've manufactured many Category 5 patch cables in my life. And I tell you, I don't know if y'all have done this. I don't know how old y'all are, but I've even used BNC connectors, terminators, coaxial cable. Remember the coaxial networks where you had a T? It was that little metal piece. And then at the end of the cable of the coax, you had to install a terminator. It was a little screw-on thing. Those were the old days of networks. Those were the Windows for Woodchucks days, Windows for Workgroups. Remember, there was Windows 3.1, and then there was Windows, was it 3.1.1, Windows for Workgroups? We called it Windows for Woodchucks, just to be stupid. But yeah, those were the days. Those were also the days of the Sun Microsystems Spark stations, the Pizza Box, Unix workstations. Those things were cool. Had a few of those. It was just cool to have, you know, collect old Unix hardware. That was so much fun. But yeah, man, things change. Polsky, I don't think I was born yet, but I enjoy your stories. Ace Report, Windows NT. I tell you, my OS that I started with was MS-DOS. I started with MS-DOS, which was, you know, black screen. Then I did Windows 3.1, Windows for Woodchucks, Windows 95, Windows NT, Windows 2000, Windows XP. And then really after Windows XP, I said, heck with this. I'm sick of Windows. You know, that around that time, actually a little bit before, is when Linux came out. Linus Torvalds released Linux, and he said something along the lines of, my name is Linus Torvalds, yet it is pronounced Linux. A lot of people would call it Linux because they're like, oh, well, Linus created it. It must be Linux. I'm a Windows 2000. And your freeware, open source, or I shouldn't say freeware, I should say open source, Unix-like operating system that would run on the same x86 hardware that Windows runs on. So it was a no-brainer. Bye-bye Windows. And then since, you know, ever since Apple released OS X, because it's Unix, it's rock solid, it's got an abundance of commercial applications available for it, and it's got a nice looking, you know, graphical user interface, and it's only gotten better. So why would I use anything else? So now I just use Mac OS. I don't have a single Windows device. That includes game console. Sony PlayStation 5 does not run Microsoft operating system. So that's the other reason I went with Sony PlayStation instead of Xbox. Windows device. You know, that includes any sort of Internet of Things device. There's nothing that has Windows on it. I hate Windows. So, personal preference. So, all my desktops are Macs. My laptops are Macs. My tablets and smartphones are Apple iOS. My servers are Linux. I like Ubuntu. Ubuntu is my favorite flavor. It tastes great. It's open source, and it's a workhorse, man. I run so many businesses on open source Ubuntu Linux servers that I configure myself and host on Amazon Web Services, AWS. So anyway, it's what it is. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm going to eat just a little bit of ice cream, and then we're gonna link up for another live show here soon. Well, not tonight, but within the next day or so. And we'll definitely link up. If you want to be a guest, let me know. Do you do Ubuntu and development? I'm not a developer. I build Joel Samuel. I do the hold on one second. So I don't do Ubuntu development, but what I do is Ubuntu, build the servers, the virtual servers. I install the applications. I make sure they're secure. I maintain the most recent, software updates for Ubuntu servers. You know, I set up LAMP, Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. I don't develop. I do write cron jobs, to schedule tasks. I do a lot of shell scripting. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a developer. Yeah, walking on a train track is dangerous. That's why I got off that track. You can get hit by a train and they don't stop. But hey man, let me throw you my disclaimer. If you're on the track, you may get hit. There's no disclaimers from the train. Train doesn't care. Train just keeps plowing through. So always be careful. Yep, it's important to be careful, man. Don't get hit by a train. They don't They have no mercy. They do not. Ooh, watch out for those trains. But yeah, we'll definitely link up. These are fun. I appreciate y'all enjoying these walk shows. Again, very casual. You know, no fancy green screen effects, but we'll have that in the studio. Hope to get Hybrid Life back on another studio live show. Brilliant dude. Going to be a neurosurgeon. So you're talking about a smart cat. He is super intelligent. Joe, it's getting dark, bro. What's the time? It is time to conclude this live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks for your loyal viewership, your subscriptions, your super chats, and just as a closing remark, I've walked 3 miles, and because of my slow pace, I've only burned an estimated 320 calories, which is unacceptable. So you know, I've really got to really amplify the speed here, and yeah, that's unacceptable. 3 miles, you know, here's the thing: I can do a half hour or 45 minutes on my indoor Schwinn IC4 magnetic resistance exercise bike and get a more intense workout. But you know, sometimes when weather's okay, it's just good. It feels good to walk instead of pedal. You know, mix it up, ride, diversify in all areas of your life, including fitness. So with that being said, y'all be safe, sleep well. Stay tuned for more live shows soon, and subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. See you later, and y'all have a good one.